but it works. That's part of the game, and Wayne Gretzky did it well. Edmonton 0 for 2 on their power play, Bruce.
Zelmar Odeline is on this power play for the Oilers.
Face-off is at center ice because when Grant Fuhr skated to the bench, the additional attacker from the Oilers jumped on the ice too early. The linesman blew the whistle immediately, or blew his whistle immediately, and the face-off is at center ice. They also got caught like that in Buffalo.
Twice in the last 3 games. Oilers on the power play, leading 3-1. Kevin Lowe to Zelmar Odeline, the Regina junior, playing his first game as a pro. Jari Kurri to Gretzky behind the net. Back to Kurri to Kevin Lowe at the point. His flap shot and a stick save by Malarchuk. Thinking, wouldn't that be something? He goes over a year without a goal and gets a couple tonight. Here's Jari Kurri. Back to Kevin Lowe in his own zone. Solheim, the other forward for the Oilers. Jari Kurri skates away from Eagles. Now to Gretzky at the point. To Paul Coffey moving in. To Odeline. Backhand shot, and he just missed the corner. Ashton shooting it down the ice. 1:07 in the penalty to Paul Gillis.
You have to remember that Charlie Huddy's a very important part of the power play for the Edmonton Oilers, and that's one reason why Odeline's getting a chance out there.
Here's Coffey for the Oilers. To Solheim. Now to Gretzky in the corner. He tried to center it, put it right on Dale Hunter's stick. He's with Michel Goulet. They're 2-on-2. To Goulet. Slap shot and a pass saved by Grant Fuhr. Cote at center for Quebec. He backhands it inside the Oilers' zone. Cote played in all 80 games for Quebec last season.
You mentioned Quebec's penalty killing is rated number 1 in the league. It's 0.1% ahead of Philadelphia, so they've had a good year with their penalty killing.
Coffey at Cote trying to center it. He slaps it down the ice. 20 seconds in the penalty to Gillis. Randy Gregg to Coffey. Now to Mark Messier. Rolled off his stick. Shaw to Eagle. Against Randy Gregg. The slap shot hit Randy Gregg, and Coffey has the puck. To Dave Semenko. Off Messier's stick again as Gillis is out of the penalty box. Quebec back at full strength. Shaw to Gillis. He tips it inside the Oilers' zone. Paul Coffey, who has also been hot, of course, set an NHL record for a defenseman with a 28-game point-scoring streak, has 68 points in his last 36 games. Second leading scorer on the Oilers with 90. Peter Stastny set up the first Quebec goal, and he's always dangerous. Clint Anderson to Remo Suminen. Messier goes for the front of the net. Now Anderson has the puck. Centers it, and he put it right on Anton Stastny's stick. Nordiques are 3-on-2. But Shaw was offside on the play. Couple for the Nordiques. Napier for the Oilers in the second period.
Men, you're here today because you all have passed your Toyota Quality Guy test with flying colors. Quality is the name of the game at Toyota. The way we make them, the way we sell and service them. You know that, but do they know that? Let's get out there and give them the kind of quality they expect from their Toyota dealers. Hey, let's have fun out there.
Oh, what a fun bunch of guys, Toyota.
I'm Bruce Buchanan with John Davidson and Tim Spellacy from the Northlands Coliseum. 3-1 Oilers.
The word on Krushelnyski is he's all right, but he won't be back. That's all that the Edmonton dressing room people would let us know, Bruce. Probably wait till tomorrow and see how severe it is.
Now that's good news. So it isn't all that serious, hopefully. Suminen couldn't center it against Cote. Michel Goulet to Patrick. His lead pass for Hunter, couldn't reach it. Kevin Lowe back in his own zone. Hunter in the corner. Gets away from Kevin McClellan. Back for Cote at the point. His shot scores! Here was screened on the play. A weak shot, and it's 3-2.
A very weak shot from the point, but it hit the open spot. I think it was Lee Folkland that's up high here, and he screens the goaltender, Grant Fuhr. Watch Folkland move out. Grant Fuhr is trying to see around Lee Folkland. He can't see him, and all it does is go into the corner. May even have ricocheted off of Folkland. I'm not sure, but Grant Fuhr did not see it, and a good little tricky shot by Cote, playing defense for the second game in a row. And he narrows the score to 3-2, still in favor of the Oilers.
Well, that's got to be a helpless feeling for a goaltender. He doesn't even know the shot was coming. Cote's 8th of the season from Hunter at 13-26, and the Nordiques are after a third goal. So the Oilers had a 3-0 lead. It's now 3-2. Marty McSorley behind the net. Low looking for Suominen. Cote back in his own zone for the Nordiques. McSorley forechecks. Cote having trouble, and McSorley has it. For McClellan. Gretzky also on the ice for the Oilers. Randy Gregg at the point. Behind the net for Gretzky. He gets a second chance, trying to move in front. McSorley couldn't get a shot away. Now he has it in the corner for McClellan. But they do best, that corner work. Gillis for Quebec. Weird Karam off the glass, and it came to center. Paul Coffey skates away from Kumpel. Looking for McSorley. The Oilers were making a line change. Gretzky got to the puck first and no icing. Craig McTavish to Coffey, winding up deflected just wide of the net. Here's Gretzky. Still trying to center a one off Cote's stick. Coffey keeps it in at the point. His shot hit Anton Stasny, but Coffey kept it in. Donnelly. His lead pass missed. Randy Gregg back to touch it, and it's icing against the Nordiques.
Pretty good play by Cote as he's being forced in that Quebec Nordiques zone. He ends up blocking a shot. Watch how the Edmonton Oilers try and get everything going in front. Cote ends up out at the point, and he gets the job done for the Nordiques. They try and get it going. Not as near as quick a pace here in the second period, Bruce. Shots 6-5 in favor of the Edmonton Oilers. I think that Anton Stasny that blocked that shot out at the point, doing his job.
Had a good look at Paul Coffey. He leads the Oilers in plus-minus at 33. Here's Napier. The Gretzky off his stick, and covering up is Clint Malarchuk.
Gretzky wasn't quite prepared for that pass from Napier, and the pass was a little bit behind him. Malarchuk read the play well and just simply covered up. He used to be very nervous, was Clint Malarchuk, but now that he's playing a lot, he's more relaxed. He tries to keep his concentration going by telling himself not to be nervous, just to relax, enjoy the game. You can see him there trying to concentrate.
The thing that really helped him this year was that if he wasn't playing well, that he could be put on waivers and picked up by another NHL team.
They have 3 goaltenders in Edmonton here with the Nordiques. Goslin's the backup tonight, and Richard Sevigny is the third goaltender here in Edmonton for the Nordiques.
3 pretty quality goaltenders. Gretzky to Napier in the corner. Gretzky will be double shifted with the injury to Krushelnyski. He's knocked down by Picard. Puck is in the corner. Picard has a skate on top of it, and it's whistled down by referee Ron Wicks. 4:33 to play in the second. The Oilers lead by a goal.
IGA, 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 IGA.
This week, IGA offers substantial savings on Olympic smoked picnics. Now $1.94 a kilogram, 88 cents a pound. And Niagara frozen concentrate orange juice, 341 milliliter, only 88 cents. Come join the climb. Play Rocky Mountain High at IGA right now.
At IGA.
4:33 remaining second period. The Oilers had a 3-0 lead when Mark Napier scored shorthanded. Kumpel and Cote have come back to score for Quebec to make things interesting, John.
Very interesting, and more of a defensive style period. Quebec Nordiques are rated right up there as far as goals against go in the league. In fact, they're rated number 3 overall. Philadelphia lead the league. And they like this defensive style of the period. They've taken advantage of their chances.
Semenko in the corner, centers it for Messier. Puck came to the point. Fogelin off the boards. Messier for Glenn Anderson. And it's Goulet. The Dale Hunter with Patrick on the right side. Has some room. He moves in, shoots, stick save, rebound. And it's blocked in front by Fogelin as Dale Hunter was following up on the play. And an excellent play by Fogelin.
Well, chalk a save up for Lee Fogelin as he timed it perfectly. Grant Fuhr making the original save. Got himself out of position. And then the rebound comes along. Watch Fuhr make a good save here, but he ends up getting down and out. Hunter comes across and perfectly timed by Lee Fogelin to block the shot. Plus he held on to it for the face-off. There's a good look at Charlie Huddy, who was really struggling with that back. He Didn't think he'd be able to play. He tried to. He played sparingly in Detroit, even though it was very painful, and he's just going to have to relax until those spasms go away.
Charlie's down below tonight. He was up top with us in Buffalo the other night. I'll have to ask him which angle he likes better.
I guess young Moeller, the Red Deer native, was up here earlier, and he couldn't stand the height.
Puck centered for Goulet. Vogelin trying to clear it again. Patrick creating all kinds of havoc in front of the net. And Glenn Anderson skates out for the Oilers to Messier. Now on the left side for McTavish. He catches up to it. He and Delorme collide in the corner. Messier waits, trying to center it. And it's Pumple to Gillis. He stops. Gets around Coffey, put it right on Messier's stick. Dangerous pass by Messier. Randy Gregg to Paul Coffey. Out on the left side for Anderson. Delorme back behind the net. Anderson and Semenko both got a piece of him. Anderson centers it. Semenko a backhand. And it hit the goalpost, I think. Got Malarchuk by surprise. Gretzky behind the net. Trying to move in front. Back to Randy Gregg. His shot. And that hit Semenko in front. Here's Coffey. He drills one. They score. Semenko on the rebound.
Well, try and move Dave Semenko out. It's almost impossible. He stays in there. The original shot had hit the post, and then Semenko just picked up a loose puck. Watch Malarchuk try to fall on it. Semenko used his strength and savvy, and he reached out and got the rebound. Watch Semenko position himself perfectly. He's going to see the loose puck, and look at him reach as the guard was all over him. And it's a good play by the Edmonton Oilers as they get the 2-goal bulge now.
Well, Dave Semenko likes playing against Quebec. That's his 6th of the season from Coffey and Gregg at 17:03. But Semenko had 3 points against the Nordiques in 2 games this year coming into tonight's hockey game.
I think that's when he blamed it on Hawley's comment, didn't he?
Gretzky, his slap shot off the leg of Shaw. Coffey centers it, looking for Gretzky off the side of the crease and just missed. Here's Gretzky behind the net now. Curry. That shot blocked by Picard, Peter Stastny, and it was gloved ahead. Dave Semenko has moved the Oilers back into a 2-goal lead.
Well, every day driving just got sporty now. Surprise, it's a Chevy.
Here's sporty Chevy Spectrum, built for Chevy in Japan.
Small surprise, little Chevy.
Chevy Spectrum. Now everyday driving is 0 to 80 kilometers an hour in 8.2 seconds. Great gas economy, plus available automatic.
Surprise, it's a Chevy. Well, every day driving just got 40 now. What a small surprise, it's a Chevy.
Way to go, Chevy.
2:26 left, second period, 4-2 Oilers. Face off to the right of Clint Malarchuk. Oilers about shot the Nordiques 30-18. Now, they say teams have a habit of coming off a road trip and not playing all that well, but the Oilers certainly not doing that tonight.
Well, the Oilers got off the plane when they returned from Detroit and had to go right to the practice rink and work out. And I think Glenn Sather proved the point that he's boss. Let's stick to hockey, boys.
Nice move by Selmar Odeline. On the right side for Gretzky. Cote trying to clear it. Goulet along the boards. And he just slides it out. Grant here out to leave it for Paul Coffey. Grant says, be careful now, Paul. I'm not anywhere near the net. Here's Gretzky hanging on to it. The slap shot saved by Malarchuk, and he hangs on, taking no chances. This telecast is protected by copyright and is intended solely for the non-commercial entertainment of our viewing audience. Any use, reproduction, or distribution in whole or in part of the pictures or descriptions herein contained without the express consent of Canadian Sports Network and ITV is strictly prohibited. I'm Bruce Buchanan with John Davidson and Tim Spellacy. 1:45 to go, second period, 4-2 Oilers over the Nordiques. And the Oilers will play Buffalo Sunday at 6 on ITV. We'll have that game for you. Low shot, stopped by Malarchuk. Brent Ashton has it. The rematch, of course, they met just 5 days ago, and the Sabres won that hockey game 4-2. McSorley to Suminen. The slap shot wide of the net. Vogelin at the point. To McSorley in the corner. He let it go to Suminen, looking for McClellan in front. And the puck came all the way out. Ashton trying to beat Lee Vogelin. Cuts towards the net and split it wide.
Ashton made a very tricky play to Lee Vogelin at that Quebec blue line to pull him aside and off balance, and then he got himself a chance to move in. Fogland recovered well, though.
Gilbert Delorme back behind the net to touch it, and it's icing Oilers with 1:05 to play in the second.
Bruce, it was a real tricky little play right at that Quebec blue line. Ashton went up, and he had a step on Fogland, and he pulls at him, and now he gets a step. But look at Fogland. Instead of going to where the puck is, he heads to try and cut him off at the pass, and he does, and a good job by the veteran Lee Fogland. Both he and Ashton working very hard on that particular play.
Face-off will be to the left of Grant Fuhr. Hunter and McTavish. Anton Stasny trying to get a shot away. Tries again. Didn't get through. Hunter finally got a weak shot away. Grant Fuhr puts the glove on it.
Now, in that last face-off, even though Quebec controlled the puck right off the face-off, the men away for the Edmonton Oilers realized that that face-off was lost, and they did the job and stayed with their players. Grant Fuhr had a very easy save to make, simply fell on the rebound, said, let's do it again.
All Coffey up the boards for Mark Napier. Looking for Gretzky. That play broken up by Cote. They try it again. Here's Gretzky cutting in. Stop. It was poked off his stick neatly by Cote. It was flat on his stomach. Mark Napier for the Oilers. The Coffey. Nordiques are going, oh, gee. See enough of Gretzky, and now he's being double shifted. Randy Gregg was bumped by Hunter. Puck hopped over McTavish's stick. And Napier has control. Back to Paul Coffey. 25 seconds left in the second period. Flip through center. And it's called on the two-line offside pass.
Well, the shorthanded goal by Mark Napier certainly seemed to take some of the wind out of the sails of the Nordiques, even though they tried to fight back. Alain Cote, that's got to be a tough situation to reach back and play defense. Times his poke check perfectly here. And he reached back, got a piece of it, and the team came out of their own zone. But that's a tough situation, Bruce. Have to come back and play defense when their team is having problems. I understand that the management for the Nordiques are talking to most teams in the league trying to get a defenseman from somebody. And a lot of teams don't want to deal easily with Nordiques. They feel, well, they understand they need a player.
Patrick trying to swing in front, and 2 or 3 players on top of the puck. As Gillis and Messier have sticks up at the side of the net.
Steve Patrick's a big, strong forward. He's had history of a bad back. And I understand he was going to be sent down by the Rangers, and they refused to go, and hence the trade for Paymont. But he's a big, strong winger. Bergeron talked before the game saying that he does have a very good shot. The 3 games he's played very well. So Quebec are happy with his play. But I was mentioning that the management for Quebec are trying to swing a deal with somebody for a defenseman, as Rochefort's going to be out for the season. Moeller will be back next week, but there's been other problems with their defensemen. Delorme's playing with a sore knee. And I understand they had meetings with the Edmonton Oilers today, a couple of meetings with Glenn Sather. Nothing was resolved as far as the trade goes, but it's not easy to trade for a quality defenseman, especially when teams know that you need one.
Messier winning the draw from Peter Stasny. Fogelin to Kevin McClellan, just 7 seconds in the period. McClellan just flips it out for Robert Picard. Out to the Oiler line. Fogelin was there as time runs out. In the second period, McClellan and Gillis. Now Fogelin after Gillis. Peter Stasny is also in there for Quebec. You hate to see things like that happen right near the end of a period.
Well, the thing here in Edmonton is the teams don't skate on the ice to go to their dressing rooms. They just simply turn around and go through their alleyways. But Fogelin at the end gave Gillis a pretty good shot. Right there, you see the stick work originally by Fogelin, and then McClellan came into Gillis. Now Gillis is having some words. See Fogelin go at him with a pretty good shot. The old veterans seem to get those shots in first, don't they?
Ron Wicks gaining control. The score after 2 periods. The Oilers 4 and the Nordiques 2.
And now the Edmonton Co-op game summary. In the first period, Lowe and Solheim scored for the Oilers, 2-0 Edmonton after 1. In the second period, Mark Napier and Dave Semenko for Edmonton, Kumpel and Cote for the Quebec Nordiques, 4-2 the score. The shots on goal after 2 periods, 32 for the Oilers, 22 for the Quebec Nordiques.
John, I thought that goal by Semenko in the second period, certainly a big one for the Oilers with the Nordiques coming on after trailing 3-0.
Well, the Nordiques had things going pretty well their own way in the second period. Semenko outmuscled some of the opposition and put in the puck, a loose puck in front. Of course, a shorthanded goal didn't hurt them, which I thought that Curry had deflected in, but I was wrong. Napier shot it in after Malarchuk had trouble handling it.
Now the third period is underway. Oilers opening a 5-game homestand tonight. The Nordiques playing the third game of a 4-game road trip where they've won the first 2. The Oilers, of course, 2-2 on their recent road trip.
Glenn Sather trying to get his 297th career win. He has 161 losses and 78 ties, 7th year in the NHL in coaching. Only Al Arbor has more NHL coaching experience than Glenn Sather, but he's an interesting fella, talking about different movements the team's going to make before the trading deadline to prepare for playoffs. Jaroslav Pozar is a name that has come up time and time again.
Oilers are short-handed to start this third period. Fogelman picking up a rubbing minor. Stastny trying to deflect it in. Grant Fuhr is down, and the puck is underneath he and Paul Coffey.
Face-off controlled by the Nordiques. Paul Coffey was on Stastny right in front of Grant Fuhr, and Grant Fuhr has had great movement during this hockey game. He's able to get from one side of the goal crease to the other very, very quickly. Good play in front by Stastny. After he won the face-off, he goes to the position in front of the net and gets a goal-scoring chance. Coffey had to try and stay with him. Messier, as soon as he lost the draw, went out to the point man immediately.
Here's Coffey for the Oilers. High off the glass, puck is bouncing. McTavish cut off Anderson, and here comes Coffey. Centers the puck. Stastny backhands it into the corner. Boy, can Paul Coffey get from one end to the other in a hurry.
He's trying to get their second shorthanded goal of the game for the hockey club. Is Fogelman still in the penalty box? Anderson back on the point on the power play for Quebec.
Picard to Anton Stastny off his stick. Randy Gregg has possession for the Oilers, looking for Gretzky. That was knocked down by John Anderson. Peter Stastny to Anton Goulet in front, centered. It went off. Goulet pucks in the crease, and Grant Fuhr's on top of it. 58 seconds in the penalty to Fogelman.
What Goulet does, Bruce, is he doesn't go in front of the net and stand there. He sort of plays it like Glenn Anderson. He times it perfectly, then comes in front. He's not one of these guys that go stand there and just get taken out of the play, simply get punished. He times plays, moves in, moves out, moves in, moves out, and that time he moved in and got a deflection, and Grant Fuhr had to come up with a real good save. Goulet very, very smart as far as it comes to goal scoring. Coming into this season, the previous 2 years, he had 113 goals, an amazing amount on the power play. But he's sure smart out there.
Stastny, Hutter, and Patrick. Peter Stastny now up front for Quebec with Sauvé and Picard. Kind of interesting the way Bergeron uses Jean-Francois Sauvé strictly on the power play.
Bergeron calls him his relief pitcher or his field goal kicker. He plays him about 5 or 6 minutes a game, depending on how many power plays they get.
Coffey scores! What a play by Wayne Gretzky to set up Paul Coffey.
Short-handed goal, number 2 on the evening for the Edmonton Oilers. That gives them 17 on the season. Messier, Coffey, they get it together along with Wayne Gretzky. Look how they crisscross. Finally get into position beautifully as 3 of the Nordiques had ended up in the corner on Wayne Gretzky. Watch the blue sweaters he draws to a 1. You can see 2 right there. There's a third one right over beside him too. And Coffey uses the screen through the legs of Malarchuk.
Well, the third consecutive season that Paul Coffey has scored at least 30 goals. That's his 30th from Gretzky and Messier at 116. Second shorthanded goal of the game for the Oilers. And they have a 5-2 lead.
You know, it's interesting what John Muckler said about Paul Coffey. He said he can't play the game at half speed. He's got to play it at full speed to be effective. Other players, they can take a night off and it doesn't really notice. Or people don't notice it, but when Coffey does, you do notice. He has to play it at full speed all the time, and he's been going pretty good in this hockey game.
24 seconds in the penalty to Fogelman. Picard to Peter Stastny. He had Yari Curry trying to hit Sauvé at center, and Picard has it again. Fogelman getting ready to come back on the ice. Kevin Lowe back in his own zone for the Oilers. He waits, and now it's icing Quebec with 5 seconds in the penalty to Fogelman.
Well, the idea of the Nordiques giving up as many shorthanded goals as they have over the season certainly haunting them in this particular hockey game. They're now ahead of LA as far as that role goes. You know, you talked about Kevin Lowe not scoring for an amazing amount of games. How about that, playing in 411 consecutive games? Langway is the only other prominent defenseman that I can think of in the league that doesn't have a goal scored for. Kevin Lowe moves ahead of him tonight.
Face off to the right of Clint Malarchuk. will be Gillis for the Nordiques against Wayne Gretzky.
3 forwards on the ice. Actually, McSorley's the one back playing on the point right now as there's just 5 seconds remaining in Lowe's penalty. McSorley will move up, Fogland's penalty. When Fogland's out, McSorley moves up.
Gretzky has 3 assists on the night. Anderson tips it into the Oilers' zone. Pure to Lee Fogland, who's out of the penalty box. Yari Curry to Kevin Lowe. Out of Marty McSorley. Forechecking is Gillis for Quebec. The last time the Nordiques played the Oilers, they trailed 3-1 and came back to win, but that was in Quebec City. Here's Gretzky for the Oilers. Nice pass to Yari Curry. Shoots, scores!
Well, it's assist number 4 tonight for Wayne Gretzky. What he does is draw people to him again, Bruce. And when he draws them to him, he makes a pass to Curry. Look at that. 4 or 5 blue sweaters over there. And then it's the release. And what a great shot by Yuri Curry. As Malarchuk's way out, he's set. But what a shot that was. The top corner. Man alive. You wonder how he scores goals. That's a great example. Top corner. Beautiful shot as Wayne Gretzky again sets him up. Shooting the puck on the left side of the ice when you're right-handed shot, and to get the velocity that Curry did is really something.
43rd goal of the season for Yari Curry. He leads the NHL in that category. Gretzky and Fogland on the assists at 232. That's the 4th assist of the night for Gretzky. Dale Hunter in the corner for Quebec. They've been stunned by 2 early third-period goals by the Oilers. They have a 6-2 lead. Here's Mark Napier. Into the corner, trying to center it. It went off the skate of Picard. Goulet has it for Quebec. Coffey. He waits. Backhands it on the left side for Remo Suominen. He and Delorme after it. Puck is behind the net. McTavish has it. He's pushed off the puck by Picard, and they'll face off in the Quebec zone. Live from Northlands Coliseum. This is your Molson Hockey Telecast.
There's something that's been happening everywhere around. You can see the way it feels. You can feel the way it sounds. There's an easy kind of rhythm going with the flow. Driving without being done. Knowing when to stop and go. It's a new attitude. There's a new attitude. There's a new attitude. Easy going, cool. It's a whole new attitude.
A goaltending change. Clint Malarchuk, who's played a lot of goals for the Nordiques. In fact, he has been in 19 of the last 22 games. He gets replaced. Mario Goslin, who was one of the goaltenders in the NHL All-Star game in Hartford, gets a chance to get some action. Goslin, a very acrobatic type of a goaltender, very bouncy in there.
12-8-1 is his record this season. Kevin Lowe was knocked down by Patrick. Here's Donnelly for Quebec. They trail 6-2. Picked up along the boards by Anderson.
Bruce, we have to mention that Malarchuk had the flu. He had lost 6 to 8 pounds in the last 2 days, and the rest right now certainly won't hurt Clint Malarchuk. It was an admirable performance he had put in by his hockey club.
Paul Gillis rolling it in. Messier was there covering up for Selmar Odeline. His pass popped off Anderson's stick. Kevin Lowe saw that pass coming on the right side to Messier. Malone to Gillis. He's with Anton Stasny. Stops against Lowe, feeds it back. Shaw slap shot, and that's kicked away by Pure. Gillis trying to center it. Anton Stasny in front to Malone. A shot, a stick save by Grant Pure, showing quickness again. Paul Gillis back in front for Malone. Messier to Glenn Anderson. Out on the left side for Semenko, and it's Shaw at his own line for the Nordiques. Left wing pass to Stasny. Now to Brent Ashton. Tried to drop it back, but Paul Coffey was there for the Oilers, looking for Gretzky, kept in by Peter Stasny. Gregg to Anderson. He skates away from Peter Stasny. Lead pass for Gretzky off the boards, right to Mario Goslin. Donnelly to Anton Stasny. Here's Yari Curry again. The shot went off the stick of Picard wide of the net. Gretzky. Good move on Peter Stasny. Moves towards the net, is hooked and falls, and a penalty to Peter Stasny of the Quebec Nordiques. So the Oilers will go on the power play. They're 0 for 3 on the night, but have a 4-goal lead.
I'm 54.
53.
People in their 30s and 40s are lying about their age. We've had to be firm. Horizon Village is only for people 50 plus who still want to own a home but are tired of snow shoveling and yard work.
51. 50. In fact, today's my birthday.
Mine too.
It's for those who'd love to travel, knowing their home was secure. For friendly people who'd enjoy their own private club. The Horizon Village family is growing quickly. We now have 4 communities.
I have 4 grandchildren. Really?
Wayne Gretzky's been doing it all in this hockey game. This time he draws the penalty. It's the second hook. There's the first one. And then Stastny stays with him, decides to check with his stick. A downwind Gretzky. Grossi's got 5 assists this game, not 4. They made a change on that Semenko goal. And I'll say it was assisted by Coffey and Gretzky.
So the Oilers on the power play, 0 for 3 on the night, but the only thing they haven't done right so far tonight, Gretzky trying to center it. Here's Yari Curry. Back to Gretzky. That's knocked away by Shaw. And Gillis for Quebec. Taking his time as he comes to center. Out of Mike Eagles, who's been used sparingly by Michel Bergeron tonight. Intercepts the pass, shoots high. Grant Pierre made the save. In Solheim. Back to Yari Curry. He starts straight up the ice. Now to Gretzky. The slap shot off the card stick and into the crowd.
First, we have a winner in that Winnipeg game. Wayne Babbage is on the ice. Excuse me, David Babbage on the ice, but he does not score the goal. He's on the ice for the opposition to score. And watch Derlego pick up a loose puck as Babbage let him go. And then Derlego's going to move it in front to McLean. Watch the little deflection here as he took the puck away from Babbage and through the legs of Steve Weeks. So Babbage wears the goat horns somewhat in that game as the Jets with a big victory at home try and get things going for their hockey club.
Paul McLean's second goal of the night for the Jets came with 28 seconds remaining in the hockey game, and you're right, John, an important victory for Winnipeg, who have been struggling all season. They win it 5-4 over Hartford. Speaking of struggling, so have the Whalers.
Kind of nice to see those replays, isn't it? That's right up to date.
Yari Curry at the point. Tried to hit Messier, and the Nordiques shoot the puck down the ice. 58 seconds, and the penalty to Peter Stastny. Messier hands it off to Glenn Anderson. Now to Gretzky, looking for his 6th point of the night. Messier left it at the blue line. It's picked up by Dale Hunter. He overskated it. Puck is brought back to Shaw. Off the boards to Curry at center. What a shot Curry unleashed in this third period to give the Oilers a 6-2 lead. Gretzky to Paul Coffey. Banned on his pass, and the Nordiques nearly had a break. Oilers have scored twice shorthanded tonight. Here's Michel Goulet. 1-on-1 against Coffey. The long slap shot handled easily by Pierre. 18 seconds in the penalty. Messier. Good pick by Anderson on Gillis near center. Gretzky has it again. Centers it. Coffey right in. And it rolls just wide. Puck is centered. DeLorme. His pass too high for Gillis. 3 seconds in the penalty to Stastny. Yari Curry with 12:50 remaining third period. Kevin Lowe out on the left side. It's picked up by DeLorme of Quebec. He rolls it inside the Oilers zone. Kevin McClellan to Kevin Lowe. Delmar Odeline wearing number 16. McSorley to Kevin Lowe. On the right side for McClellan, he couldn't pick it up. Alain Cote for Quebec. He turns away from Marty McSorley to Anton Stastny. He overskated the puck. Here comes Gretzky, was hooked by Cote, and the Nordiques will be shorthanded. Gretzky drawing 2 straight penalties against Quebec as the Oilers go on the power play once more.
If you own your own business and want to reduce your heating and cooling costs up to 50%, listen up. Lennox new twin compressor unit delivers comfort at the lowest operating cost in North America today. Call your nearby independent Lennox dealer for your next commercial air conditioning and heating project.
For quality service in heating, cooling, and ventilation,
Call us at Keeler Sheet Metal.
they have more than 100 years experience.
For the best in year-round comfort, call Allied Refrigeration.
Thanks, Dave. We service and install both residential and commercial equipment.
Well, Wayne Gretzky has taken 1 hooking penalty himself this game, and then he's drawn 2 of them. Here's the second, as Stastny had overskated the puck. Anton Stastny, and then you saw the hook by Cote, 7:31, and Bergeron, who has quite a temper behind the bench. In fact, his team leads the league in bench minutes and penalties with 24. But he's a good coach, believe me.
He gets involved, doesn't he?
Oh,
Mark
boy.
Napier. Nice to see him back behind the bench after a health problem early in the season. Odeline on the Oiler power play again with Coffey, Napier, Gretzky, and Curry. 11:55 left third period at 6-2 Oilers. Good move by Napier. Gretzky to Yari Curry. Back to Gretzky. Boy, would he like to get a goal tonight. Done everything else right. Picard to Gillis. He's trying to chop it out and does. Here's Ashton one-on-one against Paul Coffey. The slap shot off Coffey's stick. And Pierce steered that into the corner. Paul Coffey to Yari Curry. Didn't get much wood on the pass, and it bounced over Coffey's stick.
You know, the Oilers' power play is better on the road than it is at home. It's ranked number 1 on the road, number 3 in the league at home.
Paul Coffey at the side of the net. Napier in front, try to center it to him. Dave Shaw for Quebec, and his pocket picked by Gretzky.
Sneaky little hook by Gretzky on Shaw before he did finally get the puck away from him.
Brett Ashton on the right side for Eagles. He goes in after it. Randy Gregg to Paul Coffey. 37 seconds in the penalty to Cote. Glenn Anderson for the Oilers. He has 40 goals on the season. Goes behind the net. Ran into Yari Curry, and the Nordiques come up. John Anderson. He's a good puck handler. On the left side, the Eagles. In front for DeLorme, but Pure beat him to the puck. Messier takes it back in his own zone. 13 seconds in the penalty. Here's Mark Messier to Anderson. His shot, and Gosselin just got a piece of that. Messier back to Kevin Lowe. Good move on Dale Hunter. Anderson has the puck to Messier. Right in front off Semenko. He was knocked into the net or crease by Gilbert Delorme, and play is whistled down.
First of the season fresh strawberries featured this week at special Safeway prices.
Safeway got it!
Glenn Anderson taking one of his few shots that he takes from outside the circle, almost beat Goslin. A good low wrist shot. Right now, Greg Malone has gone back to the Nordique dressing room trying to find a contact. Oh, he just returned now. He had lost one of his contacts. He was trying to get his other set. Watch. Here is a good little setup by the Oilers in that Quebec zone. Messier, Anderson, and Semenko, who had again parked himself in the proper position. Off balance, and Delorme knocked him over, but tried to deflect it in over top of the goaltender. Semenko's had good position in this hockey game.
Cheer up, Glenn. You're up 6-2. Kevin Lowe to Mark Messier. Puck came to the side of the net. Gosselin replaced Clint Malarchuk early in this third period. And here come the Nordiques, 2-on-1. Hunter with Steve Patrick. To Patrick, the good back checking by Messier, who used his great speed.
Boy, I'll tell you, it was a clean cut 2-on-1, and he simply bared down and turned the Jets on. He got back to break up the play. Amazing speed by Messier.
Julian, who hasn't played much tonight, was hit by Messier. Goulet to Steve Patrick. His shot off the stick of Kevin Lowe, who picks it up behind his own net. Goulet to the side of the net. Lowe is there again, nearly hit the referee, Ron Wick. Kevin McClellan failed to clear it. Here's Julian steaming in from the point. Kevin Lowe behind his net. Hutter forechecking for the Nordiques. Semenko just rolled it out. Donnelly across to Julian. Lead pass for Goulet, and he was offside on the play. You're watching the Oilers live on ITV.
There's something about a born leader that you recognize immediately. That's why millions of Canadians flock to Metropolitan for insurance protection. That's why many of the top industrial companies in Canada use Met for group insurance and employee benefit programs. In fact, Metropolitan is one of Canada's fastest growing pension fund managers. Because a leader is someone you feel sure about, no matter what. Get Met. It pays.
Just past the midway mark of the third period, Oilers in control, leading 6-2. Nordique had closed the gap to 3-2 in the second period, but the Oilers scored a late goal by Dave Semenko in the second. They've added goals by Coffey and Curry in the third, and have a comfortable 6-2 lead. Sumanen shot off the stick of Gosselin. McClellan in the corner. McSorley stepped into his man, Greg Malone, as they mix things up.
hearing about his story back in 1967, Bruce, about Michel Bergeron. He was a catcher for the Canadian national baseball team, and they were playing in Havana, Cuba. The guy on third base was by the name of Fidel Castro for the Cubans. Bergeron had the ball behind the plate. He faked a throwback to third base, and Castro turned around, dove into the dirt. Bergeron was laughing at it because he was mad, but I still got out of the country. He says, I don't know if he stuffed his cigar or not, but he's quite a character. What a competitor. He really idolized Scotty Bowman for a lot of years and learned a lot from Scotty Bowman, and now he and Bowman don't talk, as if they are both in the same division. Bowman called him a goon coach last year at the end of the playoff series when Quebec beat Buffalo, and they haven't talked since.
Oh, it's not easy being a coach in this league. Brent Ashton dumped it in on the backhand. Paul Coffey left it for Marty McSorley. Coffey now to Randy Gregg. He let it go to Ramo Suominen. Donnelly into the corner for Kumpel. Malone also behind the net. Now to Ashton. Behind the net. Centered it right through the crease. Now Donnelly, a shot deflected by Malone. He was checked by Fuhr at the side of the net. Oilers having trouble clearing it. Malone. Pushed in on the boards by Gregg. McClellan mixing it up with Ashton behind the net. Here's Kumpel to Ashton. Paul Coffey's checking him. Still haven't had a good shot, even though they've maintained pressure. Kumpel was hit by Coffey. Now to Ashton, his shot. Changes, and he didn't wait long enough. It's icing Oilers. Coffey and Curry in the third. It's 6-2.
Chrysler really makes the savings add up. With $1,000 cash rebates or low 8.5% financing on Dodge Lancer and LeBaron GTS. Combine finance savings with discount packages, the savings add up. With 8.9% financing on Aries and Reliant, they add up. On Omnis and Horizons, Chargers and Turismos, they add up. On full-size Dodge pickups, they add up. Hurry into Dodge and Plymouth dealers. They've got some serious savings to add up for you.
There you see the score, 7:41 remaining in the third. The top 10 teams in hockey as far as goals against go are all in the Wales Conference. The next team is St. Louis from the Campbell Conference, but you wouldn't know it tonight. The Oilers up 6-2, playing well against Quebec.
Kevin Lowe for the Oilers. Gave it away. Here's Stastny, shoots, and Fuhr got his blocker on it. Peter Stastny centers it. Here's Anderson following up, and Fogelin, I think, blocked that shot. Quebec's been buzzing around the Oiler net, but can't get a third goal. Here's Shaw. Puck goes into the corner. Fogelin has it. Off the boards for Gretzky. With Mark Napier, McTavish on the right side. Gretzky waits. His pass went off Shaw to John Anderson. He was checked by Napier. Gretzky in front. He has it at the side of the net. Centers and McTavish scores! Oh.
McTavish scores one for his family there in the audience. And the Oilers just simply take their time, show some maturity. Good little pass work. They're all in the proper position. Almost like a triangle. There you see Gretzky. He can face the music. Right there he looks at McTavish in the open side. Gretzky, assist number 6. He and Napier getting assists on the play. And remember, Quebec was buzzing around that Edmonton Oiler goal, and the maturity of the goal scorers just simply showed.
McTavish is 14th of the season from Gretzky and Napier. At 12:59, a penalty for hooking to Mark Messier of the Oilers. Nordiques will go on their first power play of the third period.
Watch out. It's coming. You're about to get hit with another big heating bill.
Afraid of high fuel costs? Dave Lennox has a pulse gas furnace that could cut your winter heating bills almost in half.
Attaboy, Dave.
For all your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs in the Fort Saskatchewan area, call my friend Ken at Robertson Plumbing and Heating. A1 Heating serves St. Alberton area with quality service and installation.
Thanks, Dave. We offer service before and after the sale.
The majority of the penalties in this hockey game have been in the neutral zone between the two blue lines. Hooking on Hunter was Messier at 13:08. So Quebec again with their power play, who haven't really had many chances in this game, get a chance here.
I said first power play of the period. It's the second as they started the third with a man advantage, and the Oilers scored shorthanded. That goal by Paul Coffey. 7-2 Oilers. Nordiques are 0 for 3 on the power play tonight. Dale Hunter to Sauvé. He stopped at the line, saw Paul Coffey coming. At 5'6", I don't blame him. Wayne Gretzky. Off the boards to Coffey, to Yari Curry against Picard. The Coffey shoots, scores!
The Nordiques completely off balance on their power play, very worried about the Edmonton Oilers killing penalties. That's the third short-handed goal of the game for the Edmonton Oilers. Curry simply stays wide to allow his teammates to catch up so they can set up Coffey in full stride. Everybody will say that was a bad goal through the legs. But I'll tell you, that was some shot as he was skating in full stride, all in one motion. Coffey scores his 31st of the year, a short-handed goal.
Third short-handed goal of the game for the Oilers. Coffey's 31st, second of the night from Curry. And guess who? Gretzky at 13:41, his 7th assist of the hockey game. Yari Curry for the Oilers. He lost it. Cote for Quebec. 1-11 in the penalty to Messier. Cote going for the net. For John Anderson. Here's Stasny following up. Shoots on the short side. And it actually went through the crease. Cote. His shot hit Randy Gregg high. And Gregg is hurt. He's going off to the Oiler bench. Shaw for the Nordiques. To John Anderson. He skates away from Curry, 43 seconds in the penalty to Messier. 4 goals by the Oilers in this third period. Peter Stasny into the corner, looking for Ashton in front. Came back to Shaw at the point. Ashton let it go to John Anderson. For Peter Stasny, Ashton is shot. Puck behind the net to Anderson. He centers it. Stasny shoots. Great save by Grant Fuhr. Shaw following up. His shot went wide. And Gretzky has it for the Oilers with Yari Curry. Vogelin coming up on the play. They're 3-on-2. Gretzky waits, shoots. Gosselin the save, and he hangs on.
Quebec doing everything they can to try and score. They're taking chances on their power play, but every time they do get a shot, Grant Fuhr is there. When he makes a save, Edmonton start back up the ice. And what an ovation for Wayne Gretzky as he tries to score. He waited. Vogelin was in on the play. Curry was there, and finally he took the shot himself. What an outstanding evening Wayne Gretzky has had.
Well, he's tied his own record with 7 assists in a hockey game.
And all the writers will say, well, for everybody in hockey, well, it looks like Wayne Gretzky didn't score a goal again, huh? But is he rolling along?
Better check the summary closely. I'm sure he'd like to score one just to top the night off. 5 seconds in the penalty to Messier. 3 short-handed goals by the Oilers tonight. Paul Gillett. They now have 18 on the season. Patrick lost it to Paul Coffey. To Mark Messier, who's back on the ice. To Napier. And the puck was cleared by Steve Patrick. Odeline and Malone go after it. Odeline gets to it first. And it's icing against the Quebec Nordiques with 4:31 to go in the third. Oilers have scored 4 times in the third.
You know, most people think Mark's Burke Warehouse is just for work. But if you ask me, it's for the good times, too.
We've got the style, we've got selection, too. We'll help you look your best in all you do. For work or play, we've got it all for you. Mark's Work Warehouse, more than just great workwear.
4:31 to go in the third period. 4 goals by the Oilers in the third. Coffey, Curry, McTavish, and Coffey again. Both of Coffey's goals shorthanded. And it's 8-2. The third meeting of the season between these two teams. They split the first 2 at Le Colisée. Gillett. To Donnelly. Off his stick, right to Paul Coffey. Out of Mark Messier. Donnelly lead pass for Malone, missed him. Grant Fuhr out to play it. Ahead to Glenn Anderson. Now to Gretzky on the left side for Craig McTavish. Shoots, and a glove save by Gosselin as the shot by McTavish was labeled for the corner.
A good look at the rookie, Delmar Odeline, Quill Lake, Saskatchewan. He's had some serious injuries this season. He missed the first 2 months of junior with a bad knee injury. He re-injured that same knee in Hamilton at the World Juniors as he was playing on Team Canada. He's a nice young man, Odeline. He's a very quiet leader with his junior team. And a look at Ken Solheim. Big, powerful man. He should be able to play strong in the corners if he gets it going in the National Hockey League. What a golden chance as he's playing with the Edmonton Oilers.
Playing with Gretzky and Curry tonight. Picard, the shot. He takes a look, shoots it inside the Oilers zone. Pure stopping it. Gives it to Kevin Lowe. 3.5 minutes to play, third period. 8-2 Oilers. Lee Fogelman. He backhands it in, bounces into Gosselin. Napier on the rebound, a shot. Gosselin the save. McTavish a shot. And where is it? Picard. Picard has it in his equipment, but what a burst of speed by Mark Napier.
What a tricky little shot as the puck was flipped in. It looked like the old days of J.C. Tremblay, who used to score 1 or 2 a year by flipping the puck in. Gosselin had a tough time trying to handle the puck. Michel Bergeron looking at the clock, the scoreboard with some pain on his face. His team's next outing will be in Calgary on Sunday against the Calgary Flames, who are in quite a battle tonight with the Buffalo Sabres.
See, the Flames outshot the Sabres 22-6 in the second period and are trailing 3-2.
Mike Vernon got a rare start for the Calgary Flames tonight.
Buffalo Sabres will be here Sunday. We'll have the game for you on ITV at 6. Good speed by Goulet as he tried to split the defense. Was upended, no penalty. Hunter centers it. Here's Goulet again. Can't get the shot away. Delayed penalty against the Oilers. Guess there was a penalty. And Gosselin's at the bench. Extra man on for Quebec.
That's the first time I've seen Goulet turn the speed on at all in this hockey game, and he draws the penalty. I didn't even know he was a very good skater until I saw him turn it on. That's how little he's done as far as skating goes tonight.
Zove went after the puck. Gretzky gained possession, and the Oilers will be shorthanded with 2:46 to go.
Boy, he just turned the speed on right up the middle of the ice, Bruce, and Coffey gets caught. The call is hooking. There you see the indication from Ron Wicks. Now watch him, he turns it on here. Wow, that's great speed. Look at Coffey. It stopped skating. He reached in with a hockey stick, and that's why the call, the penalty killing, has been excellent for both teams. Paul Coffey at 17-14 of the third.
Getting to the point where the Nordiques should maybe decline the penalty. Giving up 3 shorthanded goals tonight. So Paul Coffey's had 2 of them, and he's in the penalty box. That's good news for Quebec.
Bergeron does not want to go with J.F. Sauvé on the power play. He's instead putting John Anderson back on the point. Sauvé had come on the bench as Gosselin raced over for the extra attacker, but Bergeron does not want him on the ice, obviously.
Picard has it. And the puck was hit by a high stick. Face-off will be in the Quebec zone.
Penalties have not played much of a role in this hockey game as far as emotions. Of course, with 3 shorthanded goals scored by Edmonton, you could say the penalties have. The Oilers average 24.5 minutes a game. Quebec 24.7 minutes a game. So they're very even as far as league stats go on the year. St. Louis, the fewest minutes per game at 16-2, and Detroit the most. They are averaging well over 31 minutes a game, which is maybe why they're struggling to make a playoff spot.
Wayne Gretzky has 7 assists on the night. He's done that twice before in his career, and he'll probably do it again. John Anderson for Quebec. Penalty just underway to Paul Coffey. 2:34 left, third period. Dale Hunter shoots it in behind the net. Gear high off the glass. Gretzky looking for it. What a move on Anderson. He comes out with Yari Curry. Still has it. Shoots! And he put it over top of the net. Has he been dangerous tonight? Michel Goulet. He can be dangerous also. The Dale Hunter. Off his stick. Kevin Lowe for the Oilers across the Fogelman. Out to Gretzky. Now to Yari Curry breaking it alone. Backhand shot, and he didn't have real good control. Gosselin got his pad on it.
What a pass. That's embarrassing.
Here's Curry again in front. Wait, shoots. Gosselin the save. Talk about 2 great opportunities for Yari Curry.
I think Curry's stunned by the plays from Wayne Gretzky. What sensational passing.
He banged his stick against the boards as he went to the bench. Peter Stasny for Quebec. Here's Gretzky again. Has he been magic tonight? Lee Fogelin to Kevin Lowe, 40 seconds and the penalty to Coffey. Mark Napier doing some good work along the Oiler bench. Patrick after the puck and comes out with it. To Solvay. Patrick for the front of the net. In front. Ashton shot blocked by Fogelin. Cote whacks at it. Patrick in front. Here is down, and the puck came loose to Gretzky. Again, Gilbert Delorme, 12 seconds in the penalty. He waits for Napier. Gretzky still has it. Boy, he's a pleasure to watch tonight. Patrick to Gilbert Delorme. Moving in, shoots. Here, way out the challenge, made the save. Solvay. Coffey's out of the penalty box. Here's Malone. In front for Solvay, and Coffey has it with 36 seconds left. To Glenn Anderson. A good move on Anton Stasny. Drops it to Gretzky, who's been out there for over 2 minutes.
When you're hot, you're hot. Stay out there and enjoy yourself, Wayne. Have a good time.
Greg Malone.
I think he realizes how many assists he's got, and he's trying to get the next one, which I don't blame him.
15 seconds left in the game. Pass for Gretzky. Couldn't handle it. Cote back to get it for Quebec with only 8 seconds in the period. Kevin Lowe. To Gretzky in the corner. May get another chance. Try to center it. Anton Stasny for Quebec. As time runs out in the third period.
Bruce, we can sit up here all year long, and sometimes it looks so easy, but you don't really realize how valuable it is. And the time is now to watch Wayne Gretzky. It won't be too many years before there will be no Wayne Gretzky to watch in hockey, and I'm just relishing the moments like tonight's game. What a pleasure it was to watch him operate on the ice tonight.
Pretty good chance he'll be number one star. We'll find out in a moment when we have the Molson Cup 3 stars.
3 stars as chosen by Dick Chabet of the Edmonton Sun. Tonight's first star, tying his own National Hockey League record for most assists in one game with 7, number 99, Wayne Gretzky. Tonight's second star from the Oilers, number 17, Yari Curry. And tonight's third star with 2 goals, number 7, Paul Coffey.
And now, once again, tonight's Molson Cup 3 stars. The first star with 7 assists tonight, number 99, Wayne Gretzky. The second star with 1 goal and 3 assists, Yari Curry. The third star with a couple of shorthanded goals, Oilers defenseman Paul Coffey. The Molson Cup standings for Edmonton, Wayne Gretzky on top, 145 points. Anderson and Messier with 55 points, along with Paul Coffey. Andy Moog has 50 points. Well, Wayne Gretzky with 7 assists tonight now has 118 for the season. Well on track to break his own record of 135 in a year. Incidentally, he now has 156 points, the record which Wayne Gretzky holds, 212 points. Again, the final tonight at Northlands. The Edmonton Oilers 8, the Quebec Nordiques 2. Our wrap-up continues in just a moment.
Bolson.
And now the Edmonton Co-op game summary. In the first period tonight at Northlands Coliseum, scoring for the Oilers, Kevin Lowe and Ken Solheim, 2-0 Oilers after 20 minutes. In the second period, Mark Napier and Dave Semenko scoring for Edmonton. Kumpel and Cote for the Quebec Nordiques. So 4-2 the score for Edmonton after 40 minutes. The shots on goal 32-22 in the first 2 periods. In the final period, both teams had 10 shots on goal, so the Oilers out-shooting the Nordiques 42-32. Scoring for Edmonton, Paul Coffey, Yari Curry, Craig McTavish, and again, Paul Coffey. Both those goals by Coffey were shorthanded. Well, what a night for Oilers captain Wayne Gretzky. 7 assists tonight, tying an NHL record that he set. This was assist number 6 on the night. It was a goal scored by Craig McTavish. Began with a nice play by Mark Napier to Gretzky at the side of the net. Looks over from McTavish. He had the open net behind Gosselin, who was replaced. Clint Malarchuk. Oilers captain Wayne Gretzky, the first star in tonight's game. First of all, Wayne, you must be very fatigued. I think you played about 45 minutes tonight.
Well, I'm a little tired. In the third period there, Glenn double shifted me, and of course when I got close to the record, he just basically let me go, and I played a lot in the last 6 or 7 minutes and a little bit tired.
Okay, you got to be pleased that you got 7 to tie.